Jimmy and Nino's in the strip after an extremely busy lunch. Greg Diolis and I are going to talk some Pitt football, some Steelers football, and some Major League Baseball. But also, Jimmy Sinceri is back, and his brother Nino here too. We're going to talk about middle class America and why it's more important now than ever. Let's go. All right, as promised, Greg Diolis, Diolis Law, Vantage Management Group, and maybe the biggest Pitt fan on the planet next to me. We're going to be talking about the Panthers' homecoming, Georgia Tech, Saturday at Heinz Field, kickoff at 12:30, and of course, 93.7 The Fan. Nino Sinceri is here, but so is Jimmy Sinceri. We love Jimmy Sinceri. So what happened to you?
Got hit with an almost fatal dose of kryptonite. As you can see, I survived.
Listen, he took a spill, and mere mortals would have still been in the hospital. What did you tell your doctor? And by the way, give your doctor some love. We got a wonderful group of healthcare facilities in Pittsburgh. Who took care of you?
I was with Dr. Gruen for orthopedics and Dr. Savage for the plastic surgery, and that was over at Presby Hospital. But Dr. Gruen, who was my orthopedic surgeon, he told me I could walk in 6 months. And this was in, July.
Bottom line is you beat him to the punch.
Well, I told him I had 2 goals. I was going to be out of the hospital by September, and I was going to walk out.
Listen, Nino and I talked about Superman. By the way, the plastic surgery, you look 20 years younger than me. No, he does look good though. But Nino, your brother's will and spirit, it's second to none. I've never met anybody like him.
You know, he's just a strong individual. He's strong in every facet of life, whether he's working or he's playing. He's a people person, and people love him, and you know, just meet him one time and you'll know why. And that's why he's been the face of Jimmy and Nino's for the last 30 years. Hope he will be for, you know, as long as God lets us do this. But I'm just glad to see him back, glad to see him walk through the front door again. And, you know, I won't have to answer 50 times a day, where's Jimmy?
All right, let's talk about the business at hand. We've got the vice presidential debate tonight. That will be on KDK at 9 o'clock. The next presidential debate comes up Sunday. Martha Raddatz of ABC and Anderson Cooper of CNN will be moderating. Jimmy and I have talked about middle-class America many times and why it truly is the backbone of this country and great places like the historic Strip. And, you know, the immigration thing, I've said we're all immigrants, and their mom and dad, and of course their family, and my family. If you look hard and long enough, there's someone who came through Ellis Island to give us all of the blessings that we have today. Talk why middle class is so important, especially for the survival of our economy, Jimmy.
The middle class is the original backbone of America. That's the true working class. Those are the people who are willing to sacrifice, put in the hours, put the effort in, and do the honest work to enable other people above us and below us to survive.
Here's what amazes me about Jimmy and Nino. They've got a few other things going on, like a wholesale business, but this place, the heartbeat, their mom and dad, it still means everything. And they're here daily shaking hands and talking to their customer. Whether it's a pepperoni roll or something larger, it all matters and means something to them. Where'd you get that spirit from, Nino?
Well, my dad taught us in the beginning, everybody that walks through the door, whether they spend a penny or they spend $1,000 today, they might be spending more tomorrow. So you treat them all the same. They come in, you smile at them, you ask them if you can help them, you give them the best you can possibly give them. If I got 5 loaves of bread there and the guy says, what's the best loaf of bread? I sell him the best loaf of bread. If he doesn't ask, I sell him the best loaf of bread. Because if I can give him the best I have every time, everybody that comes through that front door is getting the best we have.
The food, I mean, it's good, but it just seems to be a whole lot better than most other places. Is that just because of the hands that prepare it, Jimmy, or is it just the atmosphere or the family?
I think it's more a matter of consistency. You have a good product, you keep it consistent. You hire somebody, first thing they want to do when they come in is they want to start to take shortcuts. Well, that's not what the original recipe was.
Mm-hmm.
And incidentally, my mom got her recipes from my father's mom. Wow. She was the only one in the family. My poor little Irish mom got all those Sicilian recipes. And guess who she shared them with?
No.
My brother Sal.
Really?
My brother Sal has all the recipes.
All right, listen, Pitt, what does Pitt mean to you? And then we're going to talk a little Pitt football. You, Jimmy Sinceri. What does that brand mean to you?
Well, you know, considering our background with Pitt, my brother Sal played there, my son Anthony swam there, my daughter Courtney dove there. Pitt is, at the very, very least, the epitome of distant relatives or extended family. I mean, you come in with a Pitt hat, you're a little bit special. You're a little bit above the notch.
I can see why.
In fact, you come in with a Pitt hat, I might offer you a cigar.
Now he tells me. You see that brand, that Pitt logo. It just makes you feel Pittsburgh. And for some reason, the Sinceri name kind of, it's like Pitt, Sinceri, Pitt. When did that whole evolution start? Was it the 80s or even before that?
It was the late 70s when Sal was playing at Pitt with Danny Marino, and probably the largest group of anybody to get into the NFL. I remember standing on the sidelines and being a part of it, sitting next to Mr. Marino up in the stands. That Pitt logo exemplified what Pittsburgh was back then. And bringing it back now, I hope takes them back to where they were then, because it was fun to go to the games. It was fun to be a part of it. It was wonderful to have your brother be a part of it and be a guiding light on that team.
Mm-hmm.
The experiences we had and our children have, you can't buy. And I'm praying that my grandchildren get those same experiences.
Well, and then Greg, of course, grew up in Oakland. Yes, in the shadows of Pitt Stadium, where the Marino family grew up. And you know, the Jets are coming this week, so I did a little thing on Joe Namath today. One thing I realized that you have to be a great NFL quarterback, good hair. You know, Marino had great hair, Namath had great hair, Brady has great hair. And folks, if you take a look at my hair, I'll never make it in the National Football League. Dan Marino, though, you can jump in on this. He really is Pitt. I mean, to this day, it's Dorsett, it's Marino. It's kind of like that 1-2. I'll throw Ditka in there because he knows where I live. Bottom line is, I always think Pitt, Marino, hand in hand.
Well, and that's part of what we have. But you know, we go back with Sal playing at Central with Danny and all the things that Sal brought with that program. But yeah, Danny's the kind of because he's a quarterback.
Right.
When you're the quarterback, you're the guy. But if you remember Sal, the All-American team that he was on with Bob Hope, when he did the show with Bob Hope, and he's goofing around with Bob Hope, and kind of made himself a little bit of a niche in society for what he could do. And that's, you know, the great families that are the Oakland traditions.
Right.
And you guys are obviously the epitome of great families in, I said Oakland, I meant Pittsburgh.
Right.
You know, great Pittsburgh families, and just what we bring to the nation from here. It's just I love this area, the Strip District, these types of stores. When you come in, you get greeted. Now, you guys hadn't met me before, and I felt like I was a family member when I walked in, and you didn't know I was here before Rob was. That's the kind of things that are so special about this area, about the Strip District, about your particular store, your particular venue. But it all goes back to those traditions, the roots, your family stuff that you brought down here. It's just this is an atmosphere that you just can't beat. I mean, I'm going to walk out of here with a bag of food that I had to buy because it was so good. I mean, it was fantastic.
Well, listen, we're going to take a break for just a second, and I'm going to eat a pepperoni roll, and then we're going to talk sports, Greg and I. But I wanted to start this afternoon off, as promised earlier today from the Pratt Pack Gym, discussing family. And family is everything, and I think this is truly one of Pittsburgh's first families, and it's always an honor to be here. Thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Let's eat.